All right, so yesterday was the big Apple event, and we have a ton to talk about.
Uh-huh.
So basically, every year Apple does an event for their iPhones and other things. So this time, we are going to talk about iOS 13, Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, Apple Watches, and iPhones. I think that is all that is on my list. Yep, it is, and we might have more, who knows, but let's get this started.
Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Lunchtime Tech Talk. I'm Chad.
And I'm Mike. So yeah, the Apple event happened. We've got a lot to cover. First thing I wanted to mention was they announced a release date for iOS 13. Super excited about it because I was on it for just a little bit with beta and had to get off of it. So on September 19th, we should be able to download that. Typically,
that's soon.
Yeah. So typically you get to download these things somewhere around lunchtime, noon, Central Standard Time. But it might be a little bit after, or it might be a little bit earlier. Who
So
knows?
you could be listening to the Lunchtime Tech Talk,
Mhm.
and then as soon as you're finished, download it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So that's exciting news for that. There wasn't really any updates for iOS 13 except for the announcement of that's the date that it's going to be released. I don't know that they officially said that that's the date that it's going to be released, but I gathered that because Apple Arcade is coming out on September 19th.
And it's got it's in the App Store.
Yep.
Or in the Game Store, app, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a new tab at the bottom for Arcade specifically.
Yes. Yeah.
And so for you to get that, you probably need a new iOS.
Probably. Yep.
Probably.
So
that's good deductive reasoning.
Yeah, I kind of worked my way through that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if I'm correct, but I believe I am. $4.99.
Yeah, dude. $4.99.
Yeah, $4.99
for your whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about this. So I told Kate about it last night. She's my little gamer.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, she didn't really have a concept of, like,
Sure.
what all's in there because she doesn't keep up with this,
Sure.
like her crazy dad. So I'm going to subscribe to this on the 19th to give it a shot, see what she thinks.
Yeah.
And maybe hang on to it for a few months. And if she plays it, then keep going. But if not, then
Let it go.
let it go. So,
Let it go.
so for $4.99, 100 plus games. I don't know if it'll be 100 plus at the get-go, but even if it's 30 games.
So they said yesterday that this is What amazes me about Apple is how every time they do a thing, it's like, we're the first to ever do this many whatevers,
Mhm.
or we're the biggest whatever to ever. Like, all their firsts are like massive firsts.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is the largest game selection available to a platform at its launch.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'm just excited that I can pay $5 a month for Kate to have, or anybody in my family to have these games. I direct it towards Kate because she is the gamer.
Yeah.
And I don't have to sit there and worry about her being like, Dad, can I have $1 to buy these many diamonds?
Right.
I mean, she only asks that in a game called Roblox, which she really likes. And we usually buy her like a whatever Roblox dollars for like her birthday or Christmas, and she likes them because she can decorate things. But this doesn't have that.
Yeah.
There's none of that in-app purchase stuff.
Right.
It is, you pay this $5 a month and you get the full game.
And most games, like console games, are around $60.
Yep.
You're paying $60 a year for this thing that from the jump has 100 games and is going to constantly be rolling out more games that you have access to.
Right, every month.
And so you buy a game a year, $60, and you get all of these games. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's just, I can't wait to try it.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to sign up too.
Oh, cool.
For a month.
Nice.
Or a week free trial or whatever they have. Because
give it a
I like
shot.
gaming on my phone.
Yeah, you do game on your phone.
I do game on my phone.
I don't think either you or I are real big gamers, so maybe these games will speak more towards us.
Maybe.
We'll see.
The thought of sitting down in front of my TV and devoting an hour to playing a game is tears at my soul.
Well, it's actually humorous with twins.
Right.
Like, well, yeah, right. Good luck.
But pulling out my phone while I'm sitting in a waiting room or whatever, like, that's consumable.
Yes.
And totally doable. So, yeah, that's where I live.
That's why I kind of got into, like, iOS games. Back whenever I wasn't kind of a gamer, a console gamer, I started, like, finding myself wanting to play my iOS games more, even though they weren't as advanced back then.
Sure.
But it was easy.
Yeah.
And I could just say, oh, click the power button, the screen goes black.
Done.
And then I could go.
Saved.
I go back into it, and I'm right where I left off.
Right.
I mean, that's my kind of game.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes. Cool. Okay. All right. Come back another hour.
Yep.
Play for 10 minutes. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that that's what these are like.
Yeah.
And based off of what we have heard, it seems like it's going to be that way.
Yeah.
And it cross-platform, too, as far as... So you can go on your iPad, and then you can switch over to your iPhone, and you can switch over to your Apple TV, and you can switch over to your Mac.
Right. Now, personally, I only have iPhone. But that is cool.
Yeah.
You know, if you are at home and you want a little better experience, probably.
Yeah.
Bigger experience, at least. Yeah.
Definitely.
Put it on your 10.2-inch brand new iPad.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah. So,
coming later.
Apple Arcade sounds really cool. Super pumped. The 19th, I will be getting iOS 13 and Apple Arcade, and it sounds like you would probably be doing the same thing.
Probably.
Next, this was the biggest surprise for me. It blew my mind. Apple TV Plus. I was just waiting for this to be $10 and then the whole world go for what? A couple of shows?
Right.
But for some reason, they came out with another family plan for $4.99.
Yeah.
$4.99.
Yeah.
At that price point, it doesn't matter how much content they have, as long as they have a few good shows to get me through that first month, and then they keep rolling some out.
Right. And again, another first. The morning show, is that what it's called?
Yes.
The morning show has the most streamed trailer
That was crazy.
for a TV show ever.
Yeah, what was that statistic? Like,
I don't remember how big it was.
It was a ton.
But again, an Apple, like, of course. Why not?
Why not?
Here's a thought that I don't think we've discussed this yet, but I had this thought yesterday. So I saw they showed the trailer for C,
Yes.
which you had talked about months ago when they first announced Apple TV Plus.
See.
And I had missed the trailer for whatever.
They didn't have a trailer.
Well, they had talked about the
yeah.
concept of what it was. So they showed the trailer, premiered it for the first time.
Yeah.
That looks sick.
Awesome.
But here's my thought. I am wondering if all of Apple's programming is going to be weekly rather than releasing full series and you pay your $5 for a month and then you're done. Like, I think these are going to be maybe 10-week series, but they're going to be, or 10 episode series, but like they're going to be 10 weeks.
I have heard that it's going to be a mix.
Okay.
Some
so they
things
are
going to
have
come
some
out.
full drops.
So I would imagine like that Snoopy movie or whatever, Snoopy show that they talked about, Snoopy in Space. If it's an episode type series, that'll probably just drop.
It'll just be there.
But these big ones
are going to be
the morning
it'll
show.
Be more like
See,
Game of Thrones, one at a time.
Part of me kind of likes that.
I do too.
Here's the deal.
Get overwhelmed.
I'm a binger. You know that.
And I'm not, and you know that.
I will binge the hell out of anything. And the problem is whenever things like Stranger Things comes out, that's all I want to do. So if I'm forced to wait a week, I have time to think about the whole episode.
Well, and it allows the community aspect of it, because everybody just watched the one.
Yeah.
And then the world can talk about it.
Yeah, water cooler talk.
Yeah, water cooler talk, Twitter, like, you can go in, you can dissect it, you can rewatch it.
Right.
Because you don't feel like you've got to get to the next episode. Yeah. And you can look for those little things that you missed or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's so much more fun to have a week at a time.
I'm excited about them mixing and matching it. Because here's the deal.
I am too. Yeah.
Here's the deal. If they're going to come out with a whole bunch of shows, and then Netflix is going to come out with a whole bunch of shows, it's going to start to get overwhelming. Disney Plus is going to have a whole bunch of shows.
Is Disney Plus going to have shows?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're going to have all, all that stuff that was on Netflix about the, we're going to go off on a rant here, but all that, like, superhero stuff, like the Jessica Jones type stuff.
Oh, all those
episodes
Yeah,
type
those
series.
will be over. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm excited about the mix of it. I really think that the episode type route looks pretty cool. It just, I don't know. I'm just, at this price point, I got excited.
Yeah.
I was ready to be disappointed, honestly.
Right.
I was like, oh, here we go.
Well, ready to be disappointed is always a good place to be.
I guess you're right, because they basically delighted me with the surprise.
Yeah.
This was not a rumor, right? The
No.
rumor was $9.99.
Yeah.
But this was not caught, so Apple just...
I wonder.
You think they put the zinger in there?
I wonder if they floated $9.99 to see how everyone responded, and everyone responded poorly. And so
Majority,
then they were
well,
like, okay, we got to do something different.
Now, something we didn't talk about.
What did we not talk about?
Not only is it $4.99, right?
Yeah.
If you buy a new iPhone,
Yep.
or a new iPad,
Uh-huh.
or a new MacBook,
Uh-huh.
or a new Apple TV,
Yep.
something that is pretty inexpensive compared to the
Considering.
other items,
Yes, considering.
you get 1 year of Apple TV Plus service included.
For free. $60.
So, like, there's your Apple TV, right? You buy a good Roku, it's $120. You buy an Apple TV, it's $160 to $200. Well, it comes with Apple TV Plus, so if you're already going to subscribe to that, you're really only paying $120, $130 for an Apple TV.
Yeah, dude.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped about this. I can't wait to watch C and all that stuff. And it comes out, November 1st?
November 1. Yep.
Yes. So it'll be here before we know it. And the $4.99 is amazing because it's a family plan. I think you could probably, this is what we don't know. Can all five or six, however much a family plan is, can they all stream at once?
Sure.
If they can, what the heck, Netflix? Because what is it? Like,
Two at a time.
Two at a time, and I pay $13 a month, $12.99, I think.
$12.99. Yep.
If I want to do more, I have to pay like $15 a month.
Right.
So, good job, Apple.
Yay, Apple! I'd clap, but then it would mess up your editing.
Yeah, so I'm pumped about it. And
so then, we'll circle back around, but the November release date makes more sense now that we're talking about it. I'll come back to that.
Yes. Can we talk about something right now?
Let's do it.
Because they're going to have... Apple's notorious for having an October event.
Uh-huh.
And one thing that they haven't talked about in this last one were two things. Two things did not happen in this keynote. One was the new MacBook, the 16-inch, that is 100% going to come out. That's just been deeply rumored, and there's been a lot of leaks and all this stuff. So that's going to be an October event. We did not get brand new iPad Pros, so there might be new Pros, there might not. But that's another thing that could happen. But there's rumor that there's a new Apple TV coming out, one of the boxes. That'll be more powerful and more room for the games.
Sure.
And then also the little tracker discs that we talked about, those were not in there.
No,
suspiciously, this keynote was 20 minutes less than past keynotes. Most of the time it's 2 hours. So some people, and I'll get into this in the future, some people think that those discs, those little tracker thingies that they're talking about, Apple trackers, will actually be in the October event too. But anyways, so I think the reason why they are setting this to November is because they're probably going to release that another Apple TV, and there might be even a better deal with that.
Yep.
So
maybe get an Apple TV, get TV Plus and gaming.
Yeah.
For a year.
That is something they didn't do with this. They didn't talk about bundling, but if they do an October event, they could probably do bundling. But for $4.99, they almost don't need to do bundling.
Almost.
I mean, for $10 a year, I can get gaming and their TV service.
$10 a month, yeah.
Yeah, $10 a month.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Gaming and TV.
Gaming and TV for less than Netflix.
Yeah.
You're getting served, Netflix.
Next on the list that popped up. Actually, I'm out of order on this, so that's fine. I was
That's
out of
fine.
order on how I said the intro, but that's okay. Next on the list was an iPad.
Yeah.
So they've always had like an inexpensive iPad, quote unquote inexpensive.
I called it. We were talking about something else, but I called it Apple cheap yesterday.
Yeah. That is what it is.
I'm gonna trademark that term.
So I can't remember. We bought Kate the 5th gen iPad, which I thought we had her the 6th, but we have the 5th gen. And I want to say we paid right around the same price. I think it was like $350 or $329. I can't remember, but it was when they first came out with the new 9.7 iPad that was cheaper.
Uh-huh.
Well, they just released the 7th gen. They announced it, I guess I should say. But they increased the size to 10.2 inch instead of 9.7.
Okay.
So you get, what, a half an inch?
Half an inch.
I think this makes it in line with the iPad Air that just came out a year ago, the remake of it. It's got the A10 Fusion chip in it, which they say is 2 times faster than a PC equivalent, which I don't really know what that means. But it works with the pencil, and it's got some improved pencil support, and it's got a smart connector on it, so you can attach one of the little keyboards to it.
I saw that.
Which that's nice.
That is nice.
For $329, and if you're a student, you can get it for $299. It's 32 gigs.
Okay.
Now you can get a 128, but it's $100 more, which that's not bad.
Sure.
But yeah, 10.2 inch iPad. It looks pretty cool. It actually got me super excited. But then I started doing the math on it, and I'm like, man, you know what? I could get a refurbished iPad Pro. And I went down that rabbit hole.
We were messaging about this though. What did I send you though? I was like, if you think about it.
Oh, you did.
Instead of $329, it's really $269 because you're getting
Apple TV.
a year of Apple TV for free.
Right. Which that's crazy because it's like.
There's never been anything like that from Apple before.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
buy
you're
this
getting a
thing
coupon.
And we'll give you this thing.
Like, I was already going to buy Apple TV Plus service.
Right. Of course you were.
And if I buy this iPad or if I buy another product, I might as well deduct that amount off for the year.
Yeah.
So.
Justification.
Yes. So this iPad looks cool. I mean, it's very tempting at the $329 price. I mean.
Yeah.
It's tempting, but.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold off for now.
You're not gonna pre-order.
No.
You've got until September 30th. That's when they drop in stores, which makes the November 1st release date makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's gonna get their devices on September 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see if I snag up one of these bad boys.
Yeah.
Apple Watch got an update.
Yes.
And it was a pretty decent update. It wasn't revolutionary, but there's something that they announced that a lot of people have asked for in the past is an always on display.
Yeah.
But you know what's impressive to me about this always on display? It's the same form factor as the Series 4. It's got the same battery life as the Series 4, Series 3, Series 2, Series 1 beta. Because it's always been 18 hours. That's what they always claim. It always goes longer than that if you're just using it for daily use.
They're just telling you all day. You can wear this thing all day, baby.
How they had to do that in the past was to do things like shut the screen off.
Right.
Now they've got the technology to where they can make the refresh rate so low that it uses such little amount of battery that they can leave the screen on and still get the same battery life.
Yeah, I might get the upper end wrong, but I think like when you raise your wrist and you have full brightness on and all of that stuff, like it's putting out like 60 hertz or pulling 60 hertz of power.
Yep.
When it's minimized all the way down to the minimum, it's 1 hertz.
Yes, that's what they said. It's like
nothing. It's just
because it doesn't need to have a high refresh rate, right?
Right.
It's
because it's just sitting there.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't have like a second hand on your watch face trying to tick around your...
There are, but I wonder how they're going to handle that. Like if it's like in a state of like you not seeing it, like just on, that 1 hertz rate, if the second hand goes away.
Yeah.
And then whenever you obviously move it or touch it or...
Up, yeah.
So that'd be cool to see how that works.
Yeah. What else do you have to talk about with watches?
Let's see. Titanium and ceramic cases announced.
Uh-huh.
Those are things I will never buy.
They also said something about another partnership with Hermes.
Yes. And there is going to be a Nike Plus version. I saw it on their website, but it's not going to, it's typical of Nike Plus versions that they don't release them for a week or two after the other ones come out.
And I don't remember if it was specific with the Nike Plus, but they've got new bands and reflective bands for,
that's cool.
For athletic
I like the
purposes.
reflective idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look at those.
The studies. So they announced 3 different studies. Did you see
the health studies? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there'll be a separate app that you can download if you want to opt in to these different studies that they're doing. But they were like prestigious universities and organizations that they were partnering with, and like that's like, it was to the point where I was like, I want to buy a Series 5 just so I can participate in these studies. But one of them was on hearing, because the new watch is gonna like monitor the decibels around you.
And that's not only the new watch.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, it's that is actually a watch OS 6 update.
Okay.
So I believe
that's
anything that's watch OS 6 capable can do that. I might be wrong.
Okay. They were doing one on heart health, and I can't remember what the third one was.
Oh, is the menstrual tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is apparently something that is not studied all that much.
Well, and it hit close to home for me because it they specifically said, like, while tracking this, we're going to see like how menstrual cycles relate to infertility.
Yes.
And different kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
It's probably a pretty good study.
Probably.
Considering every woman has to go through all that.
And that one was partnered with Harvard and Women's Health Institute, something or other.
Yeah. I love all this health stuff.
Me too.
Just because, I mean, if you can get more data out there to the scientists who are trying to solve complicated health things or improve people's lives with health stuff, the better.
Well, and what do we keep saying about machine learning?
Yeah.
The more data you can get into the system, the better. And so if you put this thing on everyone's wrist, and they have to be willing to opt in.
Yes.
But most people are willing.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's great. On the note of the watches, I cried twice yesterday.
You know, I didn't even think about that, but
I
was wondering if you did when the video came on.
So one was stupid as all hell.
Oh no.
But at the very beginning, they're showing all the different products, and I love how they weave one product into the next with their little lines and everything.
Yeah.
But at the very end, it just popped up the words, give people great products and they'll do great things.
Yeah.
And I like instantly had tears roll down my face. And I was like, what? This is stupid.
It was an awesome slogan.
Why am I doing that? I know it is.
It was awesome. Yeah, I
think I also, because it was just words, I think I heard Steve Jobs and it just hit me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I cried there. And then during the Dear Apple, Dear Tim, Dear Mr. Cook.
Yeah.
Watch. Deal. So all of a sudden, a deaf dad comes on, and there's no sound at all, and he's signing, and they've got it subtitled at the bottom, and he goes, "When I'm home by myself and my son wakes up in his crib, my watch lets me know."
Yeah.
And I'm crying now, but I instantly started crying because I was like, that's amazing. That's giving this dad a power that he's never had before.
Right. Yeah.
He can, in a sense, hear his son wake up.
Yeah.
And then he actually holds his watch up and he goes, he's awake now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, ah.
Dude.
It got me. Apple is, yes, a tech company, but they're also like, they're helping humanity.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're capitalist and they're making a ton of money. But I think it's okay.
Well, I think what they do is they make good tools for people who have good ideas to accomplish things.
Yeah.
Just like that first slogan said. What was that slogan?
Give people great products and they'll do great things.
Exactly.
Or something along that line.
What that dad was seeing was a video monitor.
Yeah.
That basically that video monitor checks for alerts, and sends notifications. So some company out there created this product that worked with Apple that did notifications, and Apple just made all of their notifications available on all their devices. And it's things like when that person was making that device to alert somebody of whatever is going on in this video, they might not have thought that it was going to work this way, but it worked for this guy who was deaf to be able to get notified whenever his son woke up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like all those people in that video about, you know, that older guy who he basically said, you know, I was out by myself. I fell down. My watch called 911 and it called and notified my wife of
Right.
where I was at. And
Right.
he goes, if I wouldn't have had this, I might not be here today.
Right, because if you fall in the woods, there's a lot that cannot go right for you.
Exactly. So it's just really good ideas implemented really, really well with the opportunity for other people to utilize that stuff. And
Yeah.
whenever you allow people to develop on your platform and create really cool things, there's going to be stuff that just surprises everybody.
Yeah.
And I think with the watch, it's really big on that foreground.
Yeah. On the topic of the watches, they announced the pricing, of course.
Yep.
Said that they were going to continue to sell in their stores Series 4 and Series 3.
They said Series 4?
They said Series 3 for sure.
Yeah, yeah, Series 3 for sure. I didn't hear anything about 4.
Oh, well.
I think they're eliminating 4.
Oh, okay.
Just because 5 is so close.
Okay. So they said 3 is still a really good product. We're going to continue. Which reminded me, I put in my notes here, circle back around September to see if Mike's dad has had any issues with his watch, still uses for his original intent, and any features he's using it for now that he didn't know about when he bought it.
Yes.
So, that's your reminder.
Okay.
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So speaking of that, the Series 5, I mean, we kind of, let's just give you the prices. $399 for GPS and $499 for GPS plus cell. Those are starting prices. Those are obviously the 40 millimeter, I think, which is the smaller one now.
Okay. Is it 40 and 44?
I think that's what it is now.
Okay.
The Series 3 got a huge price deduction. It dropped down just for the GPS version. It dropped down to $199 for the 38 millimeter. The 42 millimeter is $30 more. So their size, Series 3 is sized differently than Series 5.
Yeah.
But you can still get the cell version, which they didn't mention on the slideshow. They just basically talked about the GPS, but you can get the cell version. It's $100 more, which I thought that was cool. I was like, well, I was disappointed that they were going to drop the cell.
So it's $300 instead of $500 for a brand new one.
Exactly. So it makes me excited because that means the refurb market is going to be even cheaper.
Booming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about the watch stuff. It's definitely, it's coming a long way.
Yep.
I'm impressed with it.
Yep.
The big kahuna. The iPhone.
iPhone 11.
Yes. The 11. Which, the 11 by itself is pretty cool. I was impressed with it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff that they did, basically the 11 is replacing the 10R. So they come out with really cool colors.
I'm really happy about the new naming. I know we already talked about this, but now that I saw it, I love it even more.
I do too. It's easier.
I also like that the 11 got the second camera.
Yes.
Because the 10R doesn't.
Right. It
I'm
does.
derailing us.
It's okay. You're still on the topic.
Okay.
So, like Chad said, there's a dual camera on this 11. It's the same screen size, 6.2, which I believe is what the 10R is. I believe. I know it's bigger than the 10S, but not as big as the 10S Max, but it's really close, whatever.
Right.
So, real quick, they come in purple, yellow, green, black, white, and product red.
Okay.
Which I think the purple's new.
Uh-huh.
And the colors look pretty cool. It's almost like they were like...
Run through them again.
Purple, yellow, green, black,
Green's new.
white, and red.
Okay.
So green and purple, probably new.
Yeah,
But
green and purple are new.
It looked like the colors were made a little bit differently, almost like they were tinted behind the glass.
That's how mine is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how yours was. Okay, yeah, now I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's probably about the same.
Yeah.
But real quick, the really cool thing was it's $699.99.
That's the thing. So when I was out and about yesterday watching on my phone on YouTube live.
First time.
That was fun.
It was the first time ever.
Yeah. And so I'm running errands and I'm watching and I'm ignoring people who are trying to help me.
Awesome.
But I was walking up the stairs to work as they said $6.99.
Yeah.
And I walked in your cube with my jaw dropped and you're like, I haven't been watching. Don't say anything.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
But yeah, $6.99. It's $50 off the base model of the 10R.
No.
Yes.
No, the 10R was $850 when I bought it.
For your version. You
Oh,
bought the bigger version.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the base version.
Okay.
Yeah.
That actually makes me feel a little bit better. Because I was like, $150
Oh, okay.
What in the world? It's got a bigger battery than my phone, and it's $150 cheaper. I was not thinking about memory sizes.
Yeah. That'll get you every time.
That'll
They
get
look
you
the same.
every time. Okay. That's better. So $50 off base.
But still, you're breaking that $700 barrier.
Right.
Which is, I mean, it doesn't sound that much, but whenever you're looking at it, it does matter.
When you see 6 instead of 7.
Yeah.
$6.99.
Yeah.
Back to the psychology of money.
Exactly.
If you see 6 instead of 7, you go, oh, it's not that bad. It made my jaw drop.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Made you think you got $150.
But it feels like $200 because I went from $849 to $699.
Yes.
You know?
It does. Sounds like $200.
Sounds like $200.
But like you said, it's got a dual camera, which is awesome.
Yep.
It's got an ultra wide and a regular wide 12 megapixel camera. It's got this really cool night mode, which is actually available on, we'll get to, the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pro Max, which are the kind of the Pro versions.
Yes.
But
kind of.
They are.
They are the Pro.
This is true. This is true. If there's a Pro phone. But it comes with this night mode, and it can take really low light photos.
They looked amazing.
They really did look good. And I'm really wondering, is this an iPhone 11 thing? Or is this like a software thing that we're going to get part of it for some of our other phones, like 10Ss, 10S Max, 10Rs? We'll wait and see. But as of right now, we just know that it's on the 11s, which was very impressive. I've been wanting iPhone to come out with a night mode for quite a while because other phones like the Pixel phones have been doing this for, I think, 2 generations, and it's been getting slowly improved. Apple's looked awesome in the demo. If it works that way in real life, that would be worth an upgrade for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Portrait mode now works on objects and pets.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
Yeah,
Something to do
before
with...
it had to find a face.
Yes.
To then blur the background.
Yeah. There's some process that they talked about. I don't know if it was a chip or what it was, but basically something happened either in their software or the processor in the device that allows them to focus on other things than the face.
I wonder if you are focusing on not a face, I wonder if you have to like tap, hold, select the object that you want it to focus on.
Yeah.
Or if it'll just figure it out.
That'd be cool.
Because it's like the center of your
It'd be awesome if it just figures it out.
Yeah.
So the one thing that was really funny is the front camera now has slow-mo or slow-fies.
You can take slow-fies.
Slow-fies.
That video was really funny.
It was really good because you know that's half of Instagram, right?
Right.
Like people like in a room that's just messy and they got a backdrop that's decent and somebody's got a hairdryer.
They're 3-year-olds hair drying their face.
Right. So
the other thing, and this might have been a Pro thing, but I think it was on 11. Regular selfie, portrait, holding it was 7 megapixel normal like you're used to.
Yes.
But if you turn it
Yeah.
Horizontal landscape,
Yeah.
you get a 12 megapixel
That was cool.
selfie,
Right?
and you can get more people in it.
Yeah, I like that.
I did too.
I was like, that's kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that you turn the camera, you get more, but I guess it's because the screen gets wider.
But the camera is 12 instead of 7 too. Like,
It's
I
wizards.
don't understand.
It's wizards.
It's all wizards.
I don't
We've
understand
talked
how this
about that
works.
before.
That is really cool. And there's also with the camera up front, you can do those slow-mos, but you can do 60 frames a second 4K video.
Yeah.
Like
on your front camera.
Like, holy cow, that's huge.
Yeah.
I like that. Couple features on the 11. It has the Liqua Retina LCD like the 10R had or has, and it's got True Tone. It's got the tap and raise to wake, and it has haptic touch. So it's really close to a lot of the stuff that the 10R had.
And it's got a hydrophobic something or other coating on it. I saw they had that splash behind the guy who was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or gal, I don't remember. But it was just a whole bunch of words
Mm-hmm.
of like what the phone has, and that was the one that caught my attention. Was it doesn't like water.
Yeah.
Like it repels it.
It just it wants to go away. It's like coated in Rain-X or something.
Yeah.
But this is a cool feature. 1 more hour of battery life than the 10R.
A whole hour.
Just an hour. No big deal.
Because
just an extra hour.
Because of the A13 bionic chip.
Boom.
Boom.
Beep, boop, boop.
So, yeah, they were talking about all the stats for the A13, or for the A12, compared to the rest of the smartphone market, and it was head and shoulders above the rest of the smartphone market. And then they were like, and the A13's even better.
Yeah.
And it was like, on the bar graph. And so, just constantly...
We're going to see...
The guy who came up and talked about the chip, first of all, I felt bad for him, because it sounded like he had a little bit of a head cold.
Yeah, it did.
His voice was really raspy.
Did you tear up on that one?
No, but I did feel for him because I, too, have had a little bit of a raspy voice this week. It sounds okay today, I think.
Yeah.
But I was just like, man, this dude has been working night and day for a couple of weeks. I think he's tired, but they got this chip out.
Yeah.
It's working like it's supposed to.
He went back to the backstage and just passed out.
Right? Just laid down. He was like, I've got 40 more minutes until anybody needs anything from me while they're wrapping this thing up.
Right.
He tells the iPhone Pro guy on his way out, he's like, hey, take your time.
Take your sweet time, bro. But yeah, so that hour extra battery is awesome. Better Face ID. Supposedly it can detect you at better angles, which is really nice. It's got what they call spatial audio, and it also has Dolby Atmos. So whenever you hold your phone up and you're watching a video, it's going to be more close to a surround sound type feel, the way that they tune the speakers in it.
Gotcha.
So that's awesome. Fast charging. This is the first time that they're going to include an 18-watt charger in the box with a USB-C end to Lightning. Yeah. So that's been something people have been waiting for. Wi-Fi 6. A lot of people...
I saw that. I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, Wi-Fi 5 is basically what we're on at most of our places. But Wi-Fi 6 is the next generation. Think of Wi-Fi 6 as 5G. So it's just got the capability of being a lot faster and yada, yada, yakety schmackety. Gotcha. I don't know a lot about it. They just say 6 is bigger than 5, so it must be faster. So,
and it must be better.
Yeah.
It's like the Plus. The Plus means more.
Dual SIM. It seems to me like all the 11s are dual SIM now. So there's an eSIM built into the phone, just like on the XS Max, and you can insert a SIM. So if you travel international, you can have 2 SIM cards, and you don't have to worry about whatever that does. I don't know how it works. My father-in-law has asked me a lot of questions about it, and I tell him, I really don't know. I don't know anybody that uses the dual SIM option, because he would like to do it because he travels a lot. But we haven't figured that out.
I wonder if it'd also be good for like drug dealers that need a burner, but instead of getting a burner, they just use their regular phone and throw away the SIM card.
I don't know. I'm not a drug dealer either.
Me neither.
So that was the iPhone 11, $699.99.
Nope. $6.99.
What did I say? I said $600.
You said 99 cents.
Yeah, $600. And whatever.
It was just $6.99 even. Whatever.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
No cents?
No sense.
No sense.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make no sense.
$700 for you people, or $699.
$700.
The iPhone 11 Pro.
Yes.
And the Pro Max.
Yes.
These were the big bad boys of the show.
Yes.
Similar to the 10S and the 10S Max of last year. They still have the 5.8 and the 6.5 inch screen, but they have something different with the screen. It is now their best screen they've ever made for an iPhone. It's the Super Retina XDR.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the technology that they use to create the Mac Pro screen. The XDR that's coming out, that's like $6,000.
Okay.
So it's got a really high lumen rate that can go up to like 1,200 lumens and blind you.
Yeah.
It's super bright. It's got like a bajillion to 1 contrast ratio.
1,200 lumens. That's an insane bike light.
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna not be able to see.
Yeah,
if
you won't use that.
You turn on screen flashlight mode, you're dead. Just like fries your retinas. Yeah, just melts you. So it's supposed to be a pretty impressive screen. I'll have to see it to believe it. Just be able to see if the human eye can really see a difference at that level.
I can see a difference between yours and mine.
Can you?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, maybe
because the
I'm
10R doesn't
colorblind.
have OLED.
Yeah.
And the 10S Max does have OLED.
Now
I see a difference.
Let's talk about this. The screens, right?
Uh-huh.
The reason why your 10R doesn't have 3D touch is because of the technology in the display. They couldn't get the 3D touch to work on the liquid retina LCD. So what they did is they just got rid of the 3D touch and did haptic touch last year. Well, this year on all the phones, 3D touch is gone. And it's just called haptic touch. So essentially it works just about the same. Like, I don't think people can tell a difference. Maybe there's a little bit of speed difference, but I doubt it. And, somebody was talking about this yesterday, and I was like, I really don't. I think in like 3 years, no one will even wonder what 3D touch was. They'll just be like, oh yeah, it's that action that you do. That's the same across the board.
Right.
So that is changing across all of them. In this, the 11 Pro and the Pro Max, they have a triple camera system. So
Yes.
It's the first triple camera system on the iPhone.
Yes.
You get a ultra wide and a wide, just
Uh-huh.
like in the 11,
Uh-huh.
but you also get a telephoto lens.
Yeah.
So you can do these crazy wide video shoots, and then you can get
Right in
a
on
little
the
bit
subject.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looked pretty cool how they utilized it, and they showed off some stuff using this program, which actually I'm kind of interested in, is Filmic Pro.
Yeah.
It's out there now. It's $15 for this app, but it doesn't have the update that they talked about.
Right. They said that it was coming September 30th.
Something,
Also,
yeah, sometime.
Just like everything else.
And whenever it comes out, it looks pretty cool because you can with this app you can record using all the cameras on the phone at once.
Even the front facing.
Which is nuts.
That was pretty cool.
So you can get 4 different perspectives if you have an iPhone 11 Pro.
Well, okay, so I think you can see all 4 at once, but you can use 2 of them at a time.
No, you could record all those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not how I understood it.
I went back and watched it, and
That's cool.
I could be wrong, but it seemed to me like they were recording from 2 of the cameras up front and then the selfie camera. But we'll have to wait and see what they really come out with. I'm hoping it works with our phones, because
it should.
With the video stuff that I do for my Run Bike Mike channel, it'd be nice to have a zoomed in and a wider shot, even with the 10S Max.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's got the A13 bionic, so it's super fast. This is the really crazy part, and this is where I think the watch is going to evolve next year. The battery life on these phones, if you have a 10S, if you get the 11 Pro, you will get 4 more hours of battery life. 4. And if you compare the Pro Max to the 10S Max Pro, if you compare the Pro Max to the 10s Max,
Uh-huh.
you get 5 hours more battery life.
Wow.
That's a lot of battery life.
That's a big difference.
And I think
they said with the A13 chip, like that guy came out and he was talking all sorts of chip physics that
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fully understand.
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying like they can turn on and turn off different parts of the chip based on like what
Yes.
it really needs.
Yeah.
And then even within the parts that are turned on, like it's just sending power through those parts that it really needs.
Yeah.
So like it was pretty advanced.
Yeah, there's definitely some hardware and software magic going on, and I have a feeling that in the next year we'll see this type of technology come to the watch, and we'll probably start to see like a 24, 48 hour watch come out.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see.
I want to hold one, not the chip, the phone.
I was going to say the chip's really small.
I was impressed with the back. So
It looked nice.
The back is carved out of a single piece of glass.
That was cool.
And then texturized.
Yes, that's what I heard that, and I was like, what does that even mean?
So
because it looked smooth.
So like where we have this raise up for the camera aperture, and then you can tell that there's glass set down in it, like all of it is one piece, and it's just carved up and down and smoothed out and whatever. And then they said they put some sort of photo quality finish over that part of the glass.
Yeah.
But like it's all one sheet of glass. I think that's cool as crap.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah. So I just want to hold one.
And it, like you said, it's supposed to be more grippy, right?
Yeah.
Like I think they used some term that like made it sound like it was going to be extra, like I can't remember what they said.
He said it has a great feel in your hand.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him saying anything specifically about like
extra grippy.
Yeah. Cuz like this glass is slick. Like I would carry my phone without a case if it weren't for the glass. Like because I can't even set it on my leg without it falling in the floor.
It wants to slide.
It wants to slide.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that texture on the back would help that out specifically.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely think that was cool. The last thing I wanted to mention is something that I don't feel like got any time on the air, and I have a feeling it's because those little Apple tags that I was talking about didn't get released.
Yeah.
All of these phones, the 11, 11 Pro, and the 11 Pro Max, have what they call a U1 chip inside of them. And if you're familiar with...
the letter U with the number 1?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're familiar with AirDrop, so have you ever AirDropped something to somebody and you know their little icon pops up and you're like, oh, I'm going to AirDrop it to Mike?
Yeah.
Well, imagine you have 3 or 4 people standing in a room, okay? They're all around you.
Uh-huh.
And you want to AirDrop a photo to one of them specifically, but they're all your friends, so they all pop up on your little AirDrop option.
Right.
Right now, it doesn't, the order that they come in at doesn't have anything to do with distance or direction or any of that stuff. It has to do with just which one was found first.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, Bob could be standing behind us, and he could pop up first, but you could be standing right in front of me, and you would pop up second. So let's say you have a room full of like 3 or 4 people, and they're all around you. Well, with this U1 chip, it is almost like a GPS inside. So wherever you're pointing the phone is the first chip it's going to detect.
Oh.
So like if I had an 11, you had an 11, and Bob had an 11, and Susan had an 11, and Joe had an 11, and I was standing there, and I was like, oh look, there's Chad. He's first on my list because he's standing in front of me. But I wanted to get Bob, and now I want him to be on the front of the list, even though I could just touch his picture right here.
Right.
I could point the phone at him, and he would move to the front.
Interesting.
Here's where it gets really cool. If they come out with this U1 chip inside of other devices, AirPods, the AirPods case, the AirPods themselves, the watch, other phones, a thing that you plug on your keys and all that stuff, you could go around your house and it could detect all these things, and it could actually tell you when you're getting closer to them.
That's fantastic, because I've often, like, the other night, I went out and mowed in black gym shorts. I had my AirPods in my pocket and my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I came inside. My gym shorts were wet because hashtag hot and humid.
Mm-hmm.
And I switched into a different pair of black gym shorts. And I moved my phone, but I did not move my AirPods. So now my AirPods are in my pocket of my gym shorts laying on the floor. And so all of a sudden, it's evening. The kids are in bed. I'm going to pull out my phone and start watching something on YouTube or whatever. And I've had these shorts on all day, you know?
They're my black shorts.
Where are my AirPods? And I'm freaking out.
I've been
right?
there. I've been there.
And so I'm walking all around the house. And I'm like, babe, have you seen him? And she goes, the last time I saw him, we were outside. And when she comes out to talk to me, I take them out and I stick them on top of my ears.
I've never done that. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's a perfect little holder. Just like putting a pencil behind your ear.
Now I'm going to try it.
Yeah. And so I'll put them back there. Well, I bent over to do something and one of them fell off. And I go, God, I'm going to break these damn things before they're even a year old. Right? And then I put it back.
Yeah.
And she goes, that's the last time I saw them. And I was like, shoot. And so I go out and I'm looking in the garage to see if, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it hits me that they're in my other black gym shorts.
Yeah.
But while I was looking, I was like, I wish Find My iPhone did something more than just tell me they're at your house. Because I know they're at my house. I haven't left today.
It's so bad. It's such a bad feature. Like, the Find My iPhone, like, iPod thing right now is just, it's nice, but half the time, like, mine are saying that they're at work. Because that's the last place I opened them. So yeah, this would have been...
So mine would just say they're in the backyard because that's where I took them out. Where really they're in my closet, which I know it's not going to be that specific. But,
yeah.
But you're saying this, even with the AirPods, if you had a tag on them or whatever, or if they work with this thing.
Yeah.
Like, even when they're closed in their case, just sitting, you could
locate them.
Direct yourself to them.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
And if the chip's small enough, they could put one in each AirPod, and they could put one on the case too.
Oh, like, man.
Now
we're talking.
Why wouldn't Apple want to do this? Now,
because I have set my right one down somewhere before and walked off and then been like, shoot.
So here's the big vision of this whole thing, from what I understand. Eventually, all iPhones will have these U chips in them, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever they come out with in the next 7 years. But imagine a future where all of your Apple projects... Imagine a world where all your Apple products have the U chip. And essentially, you could find a product lying on the ground, and that U chip's constantly communicating. And so you walk by it with your phone, you find it, and you go, oh, this is somebody's. And it loops through your phone, goes to the Apple database without you doing anything, and then says, hey, your item that you've been missing
person found it.
Is now found here. Ding. And then they set up some type of a private communication between you guys that vanishes the second that you say, I don't want to communicate anymore.
Apple, if you're not working on that, you can have the idea.
Yeah.
Make this, please.
That's kind of like the vision that I'm thinking. Because everybody's got phones, right?
Yeah.
And the majority of the people that I know have iPhones. And so in 5, 6, 7 years, whenever they all have the U chip in them and all the products have the U chip and people have these trackers.
Man, that's cool.
You can find your stuff. But
that's cool.
Losing your stuff in your house and being able to pinpoint locate it is like an awesome idea.
Even if so that's 7 years down the road. Can my products start having a thing where when I lose them, they just go...
They just cry a little.
Like I can push a button.
Yeah.
Like my AirPods know that they belong with my iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Can't I just push a button that makes them emit a noise?
You can if they're not in their case.
For real?
Yes. On Find My Phone, you can emit a sound if they are not in the case.
They're always in the case.
I know. That's the problem with the the AirPods Find Your Phone. Yeah, you can with the watch you can ping your phone, but you can't ping your watch, I don't think. I don't know. But I think there's a future in the direction that they're wanting to go. And this U chip was not really talked about. So I think in October we'll hear more about this U chip.
October.
But that is the Apple event, and that is everything I've had. We are almost to an hour on this, so I say we wrap it up.
I agree.
And next week we will probably have crazy tech for you.
I can't sing today anyway, guys.
Yeah, his voice. Poor Chad.
My voice.
He was so sad yesterday that he lost his voice.
Yeah.
But I've got a good crazy tech for next week that I want to talk about.
I have a decent crazy tech.
So I think that's it. Chad, do you want to let them know where they can find us?
Yeah. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Lunchtime Tech Talk. You can find us on Twitter at LunchTimeTechT1. You can go to the internet and type in www.lunchtimetechtalk.com and you can listen to episodes and you can browse our show notes. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and on Patreon. You can find me at MSUMac. That's MSUMACC. Mike, where you at?
I'm on Twitter at run_bike_Mike. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Swift, and probably a million other places as RunBikeMike. And don't forget, go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. We would love it.
We would love it.
All right, thanks for listening, guys.
And tell a friend.
Yeah, tell a friend. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for sharing your lunch with us. Bye.
Bye.